We are on the third week of our semester study, as well our community project, Be the Change You Want to See in the World. We are the ones we've been waiting for. So we went from planting a tree to collecting some gray water, and this week I read a story from a beautiful book called Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And I highly recommend this book. It's a beautiful book. It's the indigenous wisdom, scientific knowledge, and the teachings of the plants. And in this book, I tell a story about corn spirit in a village, and the village that was really abundant, and then they kind of took the corn for granted. And as the story unfolds, we get to this important topic for all of us, especially here in the West, of waste. And so this week is looking at how much food, including myself, each of us waste. I want to say that because it's something that I really work on, being careful about what I purchase and how I consume and use the things that are abundant to us here in the West, but are not abundant everywhere, and how we don't want to waste that. So it's a beautiful teaching as part of Conference Join Me. Just the simplest, these are all about making small changes in our life, the smallest changes to be careful about what we purchase and not wasting our food. So anyway, join me for that. And then conference this week is dedicated to Chef Kathy. Her favorite of the Golden Journeys was Flip It, which was perfect because we went from Viktor Frankl's space training, and then we went into using that power of choice from Viktor Frankl's quote to Lucky Me, and choosing gratitude as a way to ground ourselves in how we want to show up. And that moves perfectly into this idea of Flip It, where again, we're looking at creating space and our power to choose how we want to show up for any situation. So Flip It starts with really this concept of, in that space, like finding out where in your life you're in negative patterns or loops. And when we find that place where we're like, I'm irritated at this person all the time, and we realize like, I can't change that person. The only thing I can change is myself. We do this thing where we catch that thought and then we flip it upside down and get a new, fresh perspective on how can I change the way I see this situation? How can I change then the way I show up in this situation? And we can go back to our simple teachings with our student Troy, who was going out to surf. Like, he couldn't change that the surf was crowded that day. He couldn't change the fact that there was going to be tons of people trying to catch the same wave, but he flipped it. And he changed the way he thought about the situation, and he thought, I'm here to be in the ocean and enjoy nature and have a great time. And his perception on it changed everything. So the quote for this week is in one of these books here in front of me. It really follows suit with the quote that we used from last week, which was the quote by Wayne Dyer. And we're adding to it this time the quote by John O'Donohue. He said, each of us is responsible for how we see, and how we see determines what we see. So again, if you use this example with Troy, I have so many examples in my life of something that I was in a pattern of how I was responding to it. And if I stopped and I chose the way I saw the situation, all of a sudden the situation changes. So join me this week for a very powerful practice. Again, continuing our space training, and this time learning how to flip it.